It is strange how the Unionists in general and Gordon Brown in particular always chant that Scotland is divided, Scotland at risk of becoming one of West's most divided countries. The Herald, February 21. Where is the empirical evidence? Was it divided in 1955 when the Tories gained most votes? Or when Labour was the strongest party and the Tories had no MPs? It is obvious it is only divided in the eyes of the Unionist parties when they are in the doldrums and the SNP has 80% of the MPs at Westminster and forms the government at Holyrood. That is the result of the democratic vote of the people. Not everyone born alive is either a little liberal or conservative, despite what Gilbert and Sullivan, who wrote before Labour was a party, said. One could even argue that the advent of Labour divided the country even more 100 years ago. Times change and generations change, yet Mr. Brown is stuck in his past. What is Mr. Brown now? A political relic of Labour in Scotland and an advocate of a union now unfit for purpose. He mirrors the demise of Labour in England, outfoxed by the Johnsonian Tories who played on the inner xenophobic fears and inner prejudices of the Labour supporters in the Red Wall, just as he was outfoxed by David Cameron in 2014 when he fronted the vow and Mr. Cameron proclaimed English votes for English laws. Mr. Brown self-typecasts in his pop-up histrionical stage performances as the sage elder statesman strutting with pronounced jaw in a melodramatic trance and utters nothing. He is the last remnant of a long-gone era in Scottish politics and of a Labour Party now reduced to the bottom rung here. It is time for him to leave the stage like a fading actor in the silent movies, all gesture but no actual voice. Scotland divided. Only in the eyes of the Unionist minority parties based in London. John Edgar, Kilmowers. It's official then, a combination of the most right-wing Tory government for a generation and a significant rise in support for Scottish independence have jointly inspired the Scottish media to engineer a resurrection of our own big clunking fist, Gordon Brown. Hailed as the man who questionably saved the precious Union in 2014 with the infamous pledge of increased powers for the Scottish Parliament, Mr. Brown is being dusted down and prepared for another Operation Fear as the likelihood of independence becomes increasingly probable. Like a physical embodiment of Brigadoon, the former Prime Minister reappears like a shadow from the mists to spread his own idiosyncratic, doom-laden predictions for his homeland, oblivious to the seismic changes on the Scottish political landscape but hoping to hog the limelight enough to appear to matter for one last time. The poll that he conveniently commissioned seems to unearth the obvious, that Scots are divided over issues like Brexit. For more on this story, visit the news article link.